Imagine buying your kid a toy only to find the batteries aren't included, or buying furniture but it's missing the tools to build it. Frustrating, right? Now imagine that exact same feeling, but you're paying way more. That is what buying business software usually feels like: fragmented, disconnected, and incredibly expensive. Odoo completely changes that. Odoo is a complete, fully integrated business suite where all your apps actually talk to each other. We're talking automated lead routing for your sales team, seamless AI integration, and an intuitive point-and-click website builder. It's everything your business needs to scale, saving you time, headaches, and money. Stop piecing your software together. Go to odoo.com. That's ODOO.com to learn more.
This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The supercharged Michigan Democratic Senate primary between Representative Haley Stevens and Liberal favorite Abdul El-Sayed was too close to call Wednesday morning. Seth McLaughlin reports the polls closed at 9 p.m., but the wait for results stretched on, slowed by a lagging count in Wayne County, the state's largest and a critical source of Democratic votes. Officials were working through a heavy load of absentee ballots and reconciling precinct tallies before releasing numbers. Neither candidate held a clear lead early Wednesday, though El-Sayed held an edge of 48.9% to 47.1%, with 81% of the votes counted. U.S. and Middle East officials said they were nearing a deal with Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The emerging agreement would call for ships to enter the Persian Gulf through an Iranian-controlled route and exit through an Omani-controlled route, regional officials told the Associated Press. However, Vaughn Cockayne and Tom Howell report the deal would be contingent on the U.S. lifting its blockade of Iran, a potential sticking point. Secretary of State Marco Rubio pointed to progress in separate remarks, while Iranian officials said they were engaged in consultation with Oman, which is on the other side of the vital waterway. The Senate Judiciary Committee has voted to advance Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General. Stephen Dinan reports Republicans powered the nomination through the committee on a 12-10 vote. The vote had turned into a referendum on President Trump's anti-weaponization fund, which he sought to create as part of a settlement in a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS and Treasury Department. Blanche signed off on the fund, as well as an immunity deal covering past tax audits and investigations involving the president and two of his sons. But Blanche issued memos Sunday rescinding the fund and clarifying the scope of Trump's tax immunity deal. That was good enough to sway Republican holdouts John Cornyn of Texas and Thom Tillis of North Carolina. In addition to Blanche killing the fund, the president has absorbed a series of rebukes in recent days, including two from political appointees that left him fuming. In a span of 3 days, Jeff Murdoch reports the Justice Department dropped a case of alleged vandalism of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, and the president pulled back on his threat to launch attacks on Iran in favor of peace talks, though Iran said the talks are not happening. The setbacks raise questions about how much leverage the president has with lawmakers and the public ahead of the midterm elections in November. If Republicans lose control of Congress, Trump's agenda would stall, and the administration would likely be the subject of multiple investigations led by Democrats. In Ukraine, attacks on ports and commercial vessels are prompting ship owners to stop transit through the country's main maritime export corridor in the Black Sea. Guillaume Patak reports Russia is using missiles and drones to make the route so dangerous, expensive, and unpredictable that ship owners and insurers are pulling back on their own. The shift threatens one of Ukraine's most important wartime successes and a vital source of foreign currency as the country grows increasingly dependent on outside financial support. And finally, a former Trump administration diplomat charged with defaming South Korean President Lee Jae-myung during a press conference has been told he can't leave the country pending the outcome of the case. Andrew Salmon reports 52-year-old Morse Tan, who served in the first Trump administration as an ambassador at large, faces charges under South Korea's anti-defamation laws. He's accused of alleging at the National Press Club in Washington in June of last year that President Lee Jae-myung was involved as a teen in a murder that was hidden from the public. He was indicted July 16th, and a South Korean court rejected Tan's request to lift a ban on his travel. Tan is scheduled to return to court in September. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times,